Winner bracket final, everybody! So, we got Sloth Sanctuary going up against Ruhm and Ehre. Keine fun anecdote here. Well, it's not really an anecdote, but I talked in the last game that Ruhm and Ehre played. I talked a little bit about the name because it's a bit of honor and glory, and they are changing some of the words slightly. It's German, and they're making it into rum, and Ehre is basically just wheat. So in this context, I talked a little bit about rum and that I generally like rum, and I told that story about this one restaurant where I went to where they gave me this rum with honey that I really enjoyed. And I got actually recommendations in the YouTube comments now for rum that people said like, hey, this stuff is awesome, you need to try this. And it is currently, I mean, it's in my basket, so I'm going to probably buy it and check it out. I have to admit that I don't drink a whole lot of alcohol. You know, when I'm with friends, then I drink a beer or whatever. And I still have cremallera as the one drink in Spain that we usually have when we're on big bike rides on the weekend. But outside of that, I never really got the whole idea of drinking when you're alone at home. So it's usually something when friends are over where it's like, hey, try this. But I'm probably going to get myself one of those rum bottles that was recommended just to try it out and see how I like it. So the name always triggers that with me immediately when I see it. And it's kind of funny how they are just like going for that wordplay. But we have the winner bracket final. It is a best of 3 series. So we are going to determine which team makes it into the grand final now. And it should be an interesting one. I mean, both of the teams had a very good run through the upper bracket. Sloth Sanctuary with bans on Ophir and Anubarak as we're heading into Towers of Doom. And then we get the early pick on Anduin. And I have to stress this again, that we have one rule in the drafts, and that is that you can only pick a hero once within a series. And I keep harping on the point that this is actually a bigger role here in Division 4 and 5 of Heroes Lounge, which are the lowest divisions of the amateur scene, than when you compare it to the top level of play. And we had just recently a couple of matches where this became very transparent because the series went to the 3rd map, and you could already tell that for a lot of the players in there that were between gold and plat, it started to become an issue because some of their best played heroes or most played heroes are just not really in the meta, so they had to deviate into other picks, and this made it really a bit of a question: what do you prefer? Do you go for the hero that you have a lot of experience with, but that might not really fit into a proper meta composition, or do you go for the more meme hero that you play a lot in your quick matches, then that you might, you know, just be a little bit better on an individual level. So it's always that interesting twist once we're heading into game number 3 or in a best of 5, then 4 and 5. Something to really keep an eye on as we're progressing through the series. And I also want to highlight that this is again all with Heroes Lounge, so this is the bottom level of the amateur scene. And I talked a bit about the average level of play here already. So if you watch this on YouTube, you can go into the description and check out the link to Heroes Lounge if you've never heard of them. First of all, you've been living a bit under a rock, or you just re-enter the Heroes of the Storm scene, but you can check them out. Signing up there is completely free, and it's probably the best way to experience Heroes of the Storm, kind of the way that it was supposed to be played, you know, with people that are also a little bit competitively oriented, that are like-minded. They will try to go for a little bit of theory crafting and so on and so forth. So make sure to check it out. And while you're at it, make sure that you like the video. We get Vala, and we have Mei for the red team. Leo and Hanzo, as we have Blaze and Libing banned out on the last bans, with Towers of Doom being our starting map into the series. And yeah, still a bit curious if we're gonna see some maybe crazy picks later down the road. With Towers of Doom, we've seen, I mean, a couple of Vikings, we've seen Murky, we've seen some crazy stuff, but is this going to be another one of these series where this might happen as well, or how are they going to play this one out? For now, the last 2 picks with Vala in, the question is immediately double damage, yes or no, and the answer is yep, they go for Greymane, and we have Sonya together with Mei, so the front line is already set. That leaves us with the final pick for the blue team in game number 1 of the series. So with only Hanzo so far, it's likely that we're going to get another range damage dealer for them now too. ETC and Leo, you could go for a triple frontline if they add another bruiser style hero, but they go for Jimmy. Jimmy in game number 1 already. Alright guys, so we have our stage set for the first game in the best of 3. Again, winner bracket final, so without further ado, let's jump in and let's see who takes it. Towers of Doom, we got a Sloth Sanctuary up against Ruhm and Ehre. First game of the best of 3, and over on the left we have the blue team with Morpheus on ETC. Zolsticay is playing Reyna. We got Nasha on Rega. Lucy's playing Hanzo, and Paradox on Leoric. Fealty unto Death as the level 1 talent here for him. As over on the right side, the red team with Serena on Vala. We got Sergeant Johnny on Sonya. Sergeant Hader on Mei. So the military is present in the game. With Vazimir on Greymane. And then last but not least, Phoenix playing Anduin. On level 1, by the way, for Jimmy, we get Ace in the hole, so no stacks for him. And yeah, the blue team is actually moving down to the bottom of the map with their 4-man. That's the move that you typically see with Sylvanas, which they obviously don't have. Noteworthy also that Vala went into an arrow build, so decided to not go into any kind of auto attacks. But it's all about the arrows for her. And we'll see how much she's going to be able to do with that, and especially how much stacking we're going to see. They're trying to just catch the wave down at the bottom of the map. Hanzo's already moved into the middle for the blue team to get the experience there. And with that said, shots fired already all over the place. And it's time to shine. They're trying to even invade the camp. Not claiming their own. So just making their moves right here. Nasha, seems like the blue team is going to get this without a problem at all. Red team is still around, but they're not making a big move for it. So they kind of wasted a little bit of time here. It's a bit unfortunate for them. By the way, great mount synergy here from the looks of it. I haven't seen all of them, but it seems like they're all just sharing that pony thing or whatever that is. Ooh, well, that's a kill. Greymane. Yeah, he gets taken out. I don't know what the official term is, but when I say retarded unicorn, then I think everybody knows what I mean. So, yeah, that's exactly the amount that they're running right now. Slide from ETC, and, well, they can't get the second kill here, but they can escort a couple of pumpkins through, and since the blue team has now taken both of the pumpkin camps, getting some real damage against the structures at the bottom of the map. Inspire buff also procced by them, and they're taking the entire wall apart. That was a pretty neat opening into the game. Good for them. Vala with 5 stacks already, so she's doing some work here. And yeah, mount game seems to be absolutely on point for everybody on the team. I don't think that we have any outliers there. Reminds me a bit of the Raccoons, you know? In the last few tournaments, the Raccoons, they were always one of the teams that came in with the synergy on the mounts. And then in the last tournament also, all of a sudden, we had a couple of outliers that just didn't care about it anymore. Passion was lost, and the results, they didn't come in. And it was all because of the mounts, as we of course know. Now level 4 kicks in with only 1 kill so far on the board. We haven't really seen too much yet. For Vala, it's all going to be about trying to get the arrows connected. And so far, so good. I mean, 6 stacks right now. It's not insane. Missed the last one there, but still, that is something where you have a decent start into all of it. Gets 1, and slow down, connects number 2. This could become a problem later on. I'm not gonna lie. With Serena currently being really diligent around stacking, this could become a problem when we're heading into late game objectives, because this is obviously where you're gonna try to use this the most when there's no minions around to soak these shots. So they can go for another interrupt here. Cooldown should be back, so an easy double arrow shouldn't really be a problem for Vala. Already the exchange at the top left and top right has happened. That arrow went nowhere. Second one connects though. They have to be really careful with Vala on the other hand. And yeah, I gotta admit in this case she was kind of asking for it. They knew about the positioning of ETC, so moving in between the 2 parts of the blue team was asking for trouble, and that's exactly what she got. So Vala is down, so is Greymane, and that allows the blue team to go for another channel. So they're getting the 3rd altar, and therefore some extra shots fired towards the right side. So Vala with 9 stacks right now, but again, outside of it, not really a whole lot that she was able to do there. We have heavy slugs on level 7 now for Jimmy. Okay, interesting already. That also helps him to set up his level 1, of course, even more. We have Echo Paddle for ETC, meaning Stage Dive. Could be a possibility for him as well. Normally in a game like this, you would expect him to go for Mosh. But if they are trying to control the macro game a bit more, we might see Stage Dive and then him attempting to jump into the opponent's backline. Vala on 7 with Frost Shot. Yep, so more damage to slowed enemies, which is where Mei kicks in, of course. doesn't really need Monster Hunter in this context. There's not really a whole lot to hunt. You can try and go for that boss every now and then. But outside of that, there's only 3 pumpkin camps on the map, so not really a whole lot where Monster Hunter would be justified. So instead, they're just going for their normal play here. So for Vala, it will still... Yeah. Honestly, I really don't like that vault forward. If she just walks forward, she gets the hit too, but she might get a second arrow in. So that's a cooldown that should probably not be burned. They're losing Greymane, but Vala can still stack. The problem is they're losing too many heroes. Greymane is gone and so is Mei, and this by now means that we have 5 kills to 0. So as much as Vala might be able to get her stacks together here, the problem is that this might not help them. She has 14 stacks already, and I think on the damage side, she's probably the top damage dealer for the team. Yeah, definitely. By a huge margin too. 11,000 damage for her. Top damage in the game even. But as I already said, the issue is that with everybody else just dying, this might not be enough in the long run. So the red team is falling too far behind. They don't have level 10 abilities as the blue team is already going for the next altar. Nasha with the channel. And Vala, again, just working the arrows as best as she can. Staying a little bit farther away, which also leads to the occasional miss here. Could probably still try and capitalize a bit more on the reset with the level 4 talent. I would really expect a few more vaults as long as Anduin is behind you. If you get attacked because you vault and you have it on cooldown, you can't escape, then Anduin should be there to just pull you out with the trade. So in this case, it can be a bit more aggressive, trying to get more stacks together. A bit of a check, but ETC is already moving past, so not a thing here. Vala still with another chance. 1 arrow and goes for the reset. Could get another one against ETC. Yeah, this is going to work for them in the long run. The problem that I really have is just the rest of the team is not able to stay alive. Leo comes in with level 10. You don't want to be forced into that fight. They get their own level 10 right now. Insta-interrupt against ETC's mosh pit from Vala. Serena with some fantastic plays right now. We have 6 kills to 0 though. So as much as Vala is stacking this all up, I'm not sure if it's going to help them enough. Again, another hit against Sergeant Johnny this time, but he's able to jump out. Has to sacrifice his leap cooldown though. Vala with a few more hits. Leo with the drain. ETC waiting for the cooldown. Trying to slide in. Gets it. Greymane in trouble. And he's dead. Greymane is gone. And by now we have 23 stacks for Vala. So, yeah. Starting to become a problem. Greymane in particular is really suffering here. He died 4 times already. And Sloth Sanctuary is just absolutely crushing it in this game. They're doing an amazing job here. They are heavily ahead on the objective already, especially with the altar channel in the middle now coming through. But 7 kills to 0 is essentially going to tell you everything that you need to know here. Looking at the experience distribution, you can also tell that it's not only the hero experience that is the problem. Mercenary experience paints a similar picture. Same is true for minion experience. And really the only question at this point is, can Towers of Doom be again this comeback map that we oftentimes see, where the late game scaling is just everything that matters? And let's not forget, if Vala makes it, let's say, to level 20, she is going to be in a position where she has most likely Acrobat, and she can get a lot of burst damage on individual targets if she continues stacking. So she might be the one to turn it around for the team. But the rest has to obviously follow up on this. If they get a good snowball, a good avalanche from Mei, and then Sonya follows up with a leap, there's definitely potential. ETC eats another hit, eats another arrow. Yeah, I mean, this is going to become an issue sooner rather than later. By now we have 25 stacks, and this means that we're already looking at 150 extra damage per arrow. So as the burst damage from a double arrow, that's 300. They're trying to come in for a light bomb engage. ETC! And yep, they killed Hanzo, but the party is too much. Mei is dead. That was a really, really nice mosh pit for them. So the mosh was awesome. Now Leo is also trapping them even further. Serena's trying to get away here. Vaults back out and is going to be slowed and killed. 5-man team wipe. Yeah, the engage was nice. I mean, honestly, the leap as well. They went in perfectly, but then the problem quickly became the mosh pit of ETC, the reaction here at the front line from Morpheus was just a little bit too good for them to handle. So ETC gets the mosh through, and then they capitalize with a full 5-man team wipe. Altars are being channeled, and that means another 8 shots off the core. So now we're sitting at 16 on the side of Rum and Ehre, and they are about to potentially use a bell tower at the bottom of the map as well. Not only that, it's a 2-level gap between the teams. The mosh that we saw from Morpheus was just perfect. I mean, let's face it, that thing was a work of art. Just as the engage happens, he sees an opportunity and goes for it, and it leads to a 5-man wipe. So somebody is feeling smug at this point. Morpheus, he has a big smirk on his face and is probably just gonna tap his own shoulder a little bit. Well done, my friend. So I think he might have just peaked, let's be honest. At least on ETC. With 12 kills to 1, this is one-way street Heroes of the Storm so far. But it is Towers of Doom, so there's that. And if they can start getting some kills, you never know. I mean, there's 16 now kicking in, which is a problem. Vala, in this case, she didn't hit the hero first. She's sitting on 30 now. 30 is a lot. That's... if she gets a double arrow through, that's 360 extra damage. There it is again. Mosh pit and interrupted immediately. They went for the double interrupt. Sonya is on the case, but Greymane went too deep and gets punished. Now they're trying to go for Phoenix. He's going to be targeted too, and there's just no kill coming for the red team. Hanzo with an arrow, and that just seals the deal towards the end of the fight. So now we have only Sonya surviving. Everybody else just died. The bell tower was already taken. Hanzo's arrow just absolutely wrecked them, and this could nearly be game. If they go for boss after soaking all of the altars, it's going to be game. 15 points are going to be taken off the core just from the altars alone. They're already on the boss as we speak, and Sonya won't be able to do anything about it. She has to try it, but the team is now just slowly coming back, and they're never going to be there in time in order to deal with this. So this is it. Sonya leaps in, gets immediately pushed off, and well, that is game. Nicely done by the Sloth Sanctuary. 18 kills to 1, and quite the statement here in game number 1 from the blue team. GG. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Infernal Shrines, map number 2. Rum and Ehre, they took a minute. Actually, I thought we lost some players, because after the spanking they just received in game 1, apparently the entire team needed to apply some aloe vera to all those burns, or they wouldn't be able to play game number 2 because they can't sit down. That's how hard they got spanked by the Sloth Sanctuary. The captain of the red team was trying to excuse it a little bit by going for like, hey, just a couple of players, they need a bio break. I'm not quite sure if they shit their pants in that first game, but it would explain a lot. Now that we're heading into game number 2, they have of course the chance to redeem themselves. Infernal Shrines is going to be match point for Sloth Sanctuary. The blue team wants to move on to the grand final right away. And the 10 heroes that were played previously are now out of the rotation, so they can't be played anymore. We have Ophia getting banned, Junkrat is getting banned too, and it's gonna be interesting. Was game number 1 just a little bit of a failed warm-up experience for the red team, or is the Sloth Sanctuary just gonna walk over them? That's the, that's gonna be the big question right now. Dehaka gets banned out, we get a Nubarak also eliminated as we're heading into Infernal Shrines. Still plenty of AoE available. Jojo as a first pick. Again, fantastic choice here for Infernal Shrines, but also for other maps. We talk about her also a lot in the context of, let's say, Tomb of Spider Queen, where AoE is reigning supreme. But after the performance that we've seen from the blue team, what are they going to do here? Blaze is still up. This is, by the way, the one thing that probably amazes me the most. Thank you. There's the Blaze pick. Blaze is so underplayed on this level. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Think about the last big tournament that we had. Think about like the Anniversary Cup, the Captain's Clash, like all of the tournaments that we just recently had. Blaze was the most played and the most successful side laner in pretty much all of them. He is still the hero to choose. And when you're looking over at the amateur scene right now, it obviously makes sense that the priorities are different. Again, these guys don't have nowhere near the time to play as much as a semi-professional. But it's crazy to me how underplayed Blaze as a hero is here. So in this case, the Sloth Sanctuary, they go for him. They also ban out Imperius after we now see Stukov and Sylvanas for the red team. With Kel'Thas, you already have another CC tool for Sloth Sanctuary. And one of the reasons why I can also get away with some of these champions is that we see a severe lack of Genji, Zeratul, and even Maiev. I'm not saying they weren't played at all, but if you compare the priority, they're not getting used a lot. So someone like Kel'Thas is a lot safer in this environment, since normally what he suffers from is the lack of mobility, and with all of that mobility creep coming in over the years, especially with Overwatch heroes saying hello and entering the games, heroes like Kel'Thas started to really just fall down a little bit. So that's that. We get Tyrael and we have Brightwing, so now Sanctification and Bunker as a possibility, unless obviously you want to go for a very aggressive variation of all of this and start with Judgment and then follow up with the additional CCs. We have still with Stukov and Sylvanas also some really nice tools now for Rum and Ehre, so we'll see. Maybe the explanation why they had a bit of trouble in game number 1 is that they took the rum a little bit too much too hard and emptied the bottles already before they won the series. So an early game celebration. Talking about Maiev, here she is. So Maiev is in. We get a triple front line as Hogger is also being used. Sergeant Johnny on this, which means that we're going to have a lot of potential control on the shrines themselves. Is that going to be enough to win it and force game number 3? Well, I guess we're going to find out. Infernal Shrines, our second map, and the blue team still has to pick. Bit more damage obviously needed, so they could go for a triple frontline as well if they really wanted to, but they have a shot to get a second range damage dealer in. They go Tassadar, and with that we are set for the second map in the best of 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Infernal Shrines. The blue team on the left with the lead in the series. We have the Sloth Sanctuary with Morpheus on Tyrael, Zal's Decay on Kel'Thas, going Mana Addict on level 1, Paradox with Blaze, Lucy on Tassadar, and Nasha is playing Brightwing. And then over on the right side, the red team, with a need to win 2 in a row if they want to have a shot here. They're currently rocking this one with Sergeant Donny on Hogger, Kazim on Maiev. We got Sergeant Hader on Johanna, Serena on Sylvanas after the performance on Vala, and now Phoenix on Stukov. So, it's party time over here in the Nexus. Which team is going to be victorious? Who's going to be able to take this one? Well, time will tell. For now, we have a lot of stacking quests on level 1 for the blue team. I mean, they went all out on this. Everybody with the exception of Brightwing is just going for stacks here. But they're losing Tassadar right away. So Tassadar is already gone. A good start for Rum and Ehre, as the red team is able to lock in first blood and make a bit of a statement here. Oh, by the way, look at Sergeant Hader. Oh. Did anybody notice it? Did you guys see it? That is a Mount Trader right there. Look at this. Happy Cloud, Love Cloud, that is just unbelievable. Betraying the team spirit and choosing a different mount than all the rest. This is exactly what causes problems, you know? It's not about you potentially feeding in a game and your teammates being upset of you. I would be absolutely upset if you would just break the mold here. I mean, there is a certain... It's like a uniform, you know? When you have a mount, then you just stick with it. And he is already indicating that he is just not with the team. He's standing apart. He's not really on the same page as everybody else. And that's a problem. No wonder that they were struggling in game number 1. This is exactly the problem right here. Sergeant Hader. The name already tells it all. The second you saw the name, you should have known, honestly. But there's the confirmation. So, 1 Mount Trader right there. But they get another kill. They go for Brightwing. Oh, but there's the counter kill. Yeah. Maiev is dead, so after Brightwing got eliminated, at least Kel'Thas was able to get the counter kill, so it's a trade between the two teams. Level 4 talents are already slowly kicking in. Sloth Sanctuary is more so playing around their stacks and trying to complete level 1 as quickly as they can. Tacita actually with Plasma Shield now, as he goes into Resonance Beam in all of his talents, starting things off with the Khaldorian Amulet. And over on the left side, with the camp now about to be taken, blue team is also getting ready for objective number 1. Should probably delay this a little bit. The teams are too early to take those. What you try and do usually is you want to take it before the objective spawns, which just now gets announced. So before the shrine even spawns, these will be defeated. And the timing is just off. It's good that they're going for their shaman camp, but you always want to make it so that your opponent has to make a choice. In an ideal world, you take the camp with the timing where the opponent has to decide whether they're going to go for the shrine or whether they defend the top lane against the shaman camp. That's the ideal scenario. And in this case, there's no problem because, well, they all took it a bit too early. Brightwing is getting flattened again. Tacita also dead. Sylvanas and Maiev working in tandem here to get the kills. And this is a completely different red team. I mean, what's going on all of a sudden? 4 kills to 1. And apparently the Rum did its work. So maybe they were a little bit late to or a bit too early to have the full effects in game number 1, but right now they are absolutely crushing the early game. It's essentially a reversal of game 1. 7 kicks in. That gives us also Sins exposed. We got the dense blasting powder, and with both teams now on level 7, the blue team can at least use that for defense, because they are going to lose that battle. We get the arc discharge now for Tacita, and Tyrael continued with the burning halo. So, as we have the first Arcane Punisher, quick note, you can't jump over the wall anymore with these things. So it's going to jump in front of the wall, that's what we're getting. And, well, that's essentially it. So this is going to guarantee them a bit more damage. Defense is there, though. But the question is still, how much can they do on the actual fort? Brightwing now starting to help out. Was down at the bottom of the map for just a little bit longer to ensure that the team's not falling behind in XP. Tyrael, whoa, in trouble and down, and Sylvanas is jumping in deep to try and disable the fort for extra damage, but with the front line gone, yeah, they're still getting pushed back, but that was extra damage against Sloth Sanctuary that they could probably have done without. So they had a fantastic first game, but now the situation looks very, very different. A much better positioning from Rom and Ere in the early game. They're even stealing the opponent's camp away right now. And we have them rotate down towards the bottom of the map. Trying, of course, to take all of the camps, if possible. And that's exactly what they're currently working on here. So Sergeant Hader was already on it. Now we have also Maiev on the camp itself. A little bit of a fight in the middle, though. They go for Sylvanas. And the Poli came in perfectly. The Poli was just in time to prevent her from jumping on the wave. So now we have another kill for the blue team. I mean, good for them. So they're not completely rolling over against the opponent. They still have another shot here. That's definitely something that they needed, because things started to look a little bit grim for them. But at least right now, this is getting them a bit closer to level 10. The gap isn't that big anymore, because the blue team was a bit afraid of trailing behind at heroic abilities too much, and then maybe getting murdered here. And now the gap is really small, so the window of opportunity not too great for the red team. Now we get Judgment, so they're getting aggressive with this. And we have Archon for Tacita. So no black hole plays in this game. No Pyro, by the way. I think it's still worth to point that out at least. We actually had some Pyro games already. There's again Judgment. Tether though, and Tacita is in trouble. Gets body blocked and is gone. Maiev is absolutely wrecking them here. So she's doing a great job, and it is really starting to become a problem for the team in blue. Yeah, they're suffering. They're really suffering here. So when you look at the raw damage numbers, we now have Sylvanas on 16,000. Maiev is with 13,000 second highest on the team. 17,000 for Kel'Thas, 13,000 for Tyrael. And it's consistently the red team that is being aggressive here. That time and time again, the team that is pushing that is looking for opportunities and that is trying to get a few additional kills in. And so far, it is honestly working. I mean, they're doing quite nicely here. They're chasing the blue team around the map. They have a 1-level lead now as we're going to the next objective, but no talent advantage currently. So this is still a chance for Sloth Sanctuary to go for objective number 2 and see if they can maybe win themselves a Punisher here. This is a team fight that will be fairly even, or at least should be. So let's see what they can do with it. The trap is already set, but Lucy on Tacita sniffed it out. Everybody on the blue team is now starting to slowly move in here. All the ults up, all the important ones. We don't have Bunker, but it's back in 15 seconds. So we'll count that. Tacita could also use Archon. Everybody just trying to get some initial stacks here as the fight starts to slowly approach. They're making the move on the back line and insta double kill. It's a triple, baby. 3 heroes down as they went deep and got the kills. Maiev gets out and the rest of the blue team is on the run. Tyrael just sitting in the middle. There's no way that he can do anything towards an objective. The Frozen Punisher is already claimed. And this fight just backfired really hard. Maiev going into the back line there, and then we also had the shockwave stun from Hogger. That obviously was another big deal and led more or less instantly 2 kills. So now we have the fort at the bottom of the map claimed. That's the first one in the game that gets eliminated. And yeah, it's starting to be a rough game for them. It's a really, really tough time that they're having here. And a completely different game from map number 1, obviously. So the team is totally crushing it here. Rum and Ehre, after the disaster that was the first map, are now in the driver's seat in game number 2 and are already pushing for the first keep. And with Sylvanas, they might not just be able to, well, they might not be able to take the entire okay, forget it. They are actually going to be able to take that thing because they're easily in as they're going for the kills on 3 more heroes, take them down like they're nothing, and now take keep number 1. So that is pretty impressive. We're not even at the 10-minute mark right now, but this worked extremely well for them. And during all of this, Sergeant Johnny and Hogger was still sitting in the middle of the map going for another fort, so they're going to be able to take this one out too. This is a completely different game than what we saw on the first map. I mean, it's kind of insane. We had a dominant blue team in game number 1, and now on map number 2, we're essentially seeing the exact opposite. We're seeing an absolute mega aggressive red team that is able to just hammer them. Absolutely hammer them here. Kazim might be in trouble here though, and yep, gets taken out. So Kazim gone, and that one hurt. Can they follow up on that? No, the camp's still also taken by the blue team, as you would have expected. But this is essentially what the red team now has to be very careful about. They can't just run in and start losing heroes in a situation like this. There's 2 levels ahead, but once that the blue team gets a bit of an upper hand in these moments, they can threaten a ton here. More so than anything else, because obviously you get the Underdog bonus with the 2-level difference. Every single hero that gets killed by the red team is going to mean a lot. Sorry, by the blue team, gives them extra XP as well. And then on top of that, you also have, of course, a numbers advantage on the map, which will allow you to take mercenary camps and so on and so forth. But as long as Roman Era doesn't lose too many heroes too often, they're going to be fine here. I mean, for now, it's 3 kills to 12, so this tells you pretty much all that you need to know. But for now, we have the next objective, not announced yet. Question is, will the blue team be ready to get their own level 16 in time? They're even trying apparently to go for Blaze here, who's playing this very, very cautious. Yeah, nobody wants to fall into the trap. Camp is of course going to be stolen away in a moment. Down at the bottom of the map, Khaldor. Khaldor is doing his thing here. Gets first of all his quest completed. It's pretty late in the game at level 15. Normally you want to try and aim for level 10. But he can do some damage as a fort at the top gets attacked and taken out. The whole goal for them is to get to 16. The whole gameplay for the blue team is simple. Get level 16 for the next objective. And then YOLO it hard on the next objective in an attempt to win the fight on even talents and finally push the opponent back. that's essentially the idea here. I mean, outside of this, there's little that you can do. This is your best hope by far. So everybody is slowly starting to get ready for it. And yeah, that's where we're headed with this. So we'll see. We'll see how far they can go. Blue team is already up. Yeah, they're trying to grab this quickly. So far, so good for them. Taking a bit of a lead on the Shrine minions. But, of course, Blaze might be in trouble. He's not the only one. Bunker. Oh, and Nasha made it out. Brightwing survives, but the rest of the team is still in trouble. The entire front line is gone. Sergeant Hader survives. That is just adding insult to injury. At least they got the kill on Sylvanas, but this is not going to be enough. If they can take out more here with Tacita, maybe... Yeah, but Kelthas is gone, Brightwing is gone, Tacita is the lone survivor here, and he's up against 4. Absolutely no way for him to make a play here. Is desperately trying to get out, but gets just tethered around and eliminated. That's a 5-man team wipe. The entire blue team is off the map. Huge victory for Team Rum and Ehre. And, well, I would have liked for them to push the top lane a bit. With a few of the heroes, most of them were already low. They have now the Punisher moving through the middle, but I think they could have tried to push these lanes already slightly. Either way, this is going to be a brutal attack against Sloth Sanctuary. 17 kills to 4. I told you that they took a little bit longer to get into game number 2, and whatever they were doing in the meantime just worked. Just let's assume for a second that the excuse of the red team's captain that some of his players needed a bio break is true. Then this kind of means that they were sitting in game number 1 about to shit their pants and just sitting there and, like, you know, legs crossed, and they're just like, end the game quickly, fast, can't concentrate. And then after great relief, now they can play to their full strength. That's at least the story that I'm going with. Brightwing gets eliminated again, but they also took out Maiev. The keep is not gone. Sylvanas dies. The sloths are all of a sudden fighting. What is happening to the sloths here? Did they wake up? Apparently not so lazy anymore. They're going for Sergeant Hader, and that is Johanna gone. So, team. There's the stun, a little bit of body blocking, and that's 4 kills. Okay. I mean, just to make this clear to everybody, what just happened is that first we saw the big loss on the objective. In the following team fight, it was then the blue team that absolutely rolled the opponent, and the entire push with the Punisher did basically nothing. So, yes, you have level 20. Congratulations. But this might have just brought the blue team back. I honestly thought the game... I thought there was a solid chance that the red team would end the game here. But instead, we might come to an even footing between the two teams now, as we have Sloth Sanctuary hitting their own level 20. Okay. Unexpected, but hey, I'll take it. That's definitely going to make game number 2 a bit more intense. For the red team, they got to be careful now. What I don't like is that the blue team didn't capitalize on this by taking at least a fort out. I think they had an opportunity to go down to the bottom of the map and take a fort. They opened a couple of walls up, but you need to do more if you're down to your last 2 keeps. I mean, you need to do something here. Judgment got updated. We have the range for Kelthas. Brightwing also with the invisible friends right now. And Brightwing has so far had a bit of a tough time. I mean, 6 deaths on Brightwing. Definitely not crazy. So, But, well, let's wait and see. There's a chance now all of a sudden. We have 42,000 damage for Kelthas. Top damage in the game, I might add. 36,000 for Sylvanas. And everybody is just getting ready for the next objective, which will this time spawn at the top. So one of the jobs that Blaze currently has, or maybe Brightwing later, is to push out the bot lane as much as possible. So that when they are fighting for the objective at the top, they don't have to worry about their core being attacked through catapults that move in through the bot lane. This could get really interesting now. Rum and Ehre essentially had this. If the blue team is now bringing this back, I mean, that would be quite something. But they definitely have a shot now. So, we'll see. Currently, it's going alright. I mean, we have the attack again. Incoming. Hello, Blaze! Not like this. Oh boy, Blaze is dead, so is Brightwing. Alright, okay. They get absolutely rolled. The fight hasn't even started yet, and they get absolutely wrecked. 5-man team wipe. I'm not quite sure why exactly they go for the objective and not straight for core or at least keep, but apparently they're trying to give the blue team another shot. That fight, though, was the absolute opposite of what they wanted to happen. But yeah, they could have ended the game now, and they're deciding against it. So I don't know if they're aiming for some kind of fair play award here. Since I'm again hosting this tournament together with Heroes Lounge, I can guarantee you that we don't have a fair play award, but apparently they want one. Because what they're doing right now is just giving the opponent another shot. And I mean, hey! Fine with me. I mean, more fair play in Heroes, I'm a fan. I'm just not quite sure what you're expecting here. We haven't really handed out anything, and I don't think there were any changes to that. So, well, as it stands right now, there's a shot for the blue team to still defend. Punisher is now coming in. I still think it's wild that they just didn't just end there. They definitely had a shot to do this. So, well, in comes the attack. Off we go. And let's see. Currently, the whole shebang through the top lane. Sylvanas is a bit far away here. They need her for sure. And that Punisher is taken out with ease. Roman Ehre is currently just trying to make this more interesting. I can't believe what we're seeing here. Like, guys, what is this? That's a yellow card and a half. They're saving their big plays for game 3, apparently. You had the entire team wiped. Why didn't you just go for the core? Even if you would have just attacked the keep, you would have at least taken the keep. This way, you took an objective and then didn't even take the keep with it. Really think this through for a second. If they would have gone and attacked the top keep with Sylvanas, they would have destroyed it. They could have then moved back to the objective, take the Punisher, and it would have done more than what they did right now. This is a problem with the decision making right there. And obviously for us it's much easier to talk about this. We have full vision on everything. They are in the moment. They're afraid of losing the second map and being dropped out into the losers bracket. But they are wasting opportunities. This is now the second big chance that they had to pull farther and farther ahead in this game. And they again lost it. They gave the blue team another opportunity right now. And it might be that it just delays things and they're still winning this. But it might also be that they're losing a crucial team fight. And if Sloth Sanctuary then plays their cards right, they could win that game. Now, to be fair, the blue team hasn't taken a single structure out yet. Not one. Meaning that even if they get a team fight victory, there's no way they can go to a core directly. So, yeah. Still wild to me. This camp could actually take the fort. No catapults over here. But okay, they're starting to rotate heroes over. Yeah, to save it. Might take a little bit of damage. Not too much, but yeah. But I guess we're gonna fight for the next objective. We're gonna fight for the middle here. 9 kills to 23 in total. Damage output, Khaldor on 52,000, still the top damage dealer in the game. Stukov, by the way, is the only hero that has not died yet so far. The only one. Everybody else has fallen at least once. Stukov, he's a survivor. The man with a big arm. So, right now, there's our next fight. Brightwing. Brightwing. Okay, Brightwing is finally here. Well, they're losing Hogger. Hogger is already gone. Blaze is alone and it's just not helping. They're losing both of the damage dealers. Khaldor and Tassadar are gone. Blaze is finally starting to join the team and wanted to hit the jet propulsion but got interrupted. Paradox a bit too greedy. He went after... I don't even know who he went after. I think it was Johanna. Instead of playing with the team, and if they could have relied on his stun there, or just on his presence, they could have done so much more, I think. So it's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of the red team. So once again, they're a bit ahead. I'm just curious what they're gonna do with it. It seems like they're gonna get the objective, but then of course the question becomes right away, what is that actually gonna do for them? Are they gonna be able to take it? I think the keep is a given, right? Has to be. Once that they have the objective, the keep is a given. Okay, we go for the Admiral Akbar move. It's a trap, but yeah, not that easy. Over on the left side, yeah, Tacita, a bit too early in that last fight too. Ooh, a little party bush over here. Yeah, that bush was already full. You gotta be careful. Nope, that was taken. What are they waiting for? Okay, there we go. Frozen Punisher's claim. I guess technically they could have taken this camp first. Technically speaking. Alright, the moment of truth. Are they finally going to get some value out of this? The red team, at some point, they got to commit a little bit. If the blue team coordinates their efforts well and just fights as a unit and doesn't get split too hard, they have a shot here. Keep in mind, they have Judgment as well on a really low cooldown, so they have chances to get into the backline. This keep will fall, yeah, 100%. Phoenix is already out. Good attack against Hogger, though, from Khaldor. They're getting split a little bit. I expect the Tyrael to be way more aggressive. His cooldown is ridiculously low at this point. There's the lurking arm. Bunker. Yeah, they're moving away. Get pulled back in, and Tyrael is dead. So is Hogger, though. Hogger is dead, too, and that fight is not over. But the Punisher wants a piece of the action. Jumps in, and Tacita is dead. Blaze somehow makes it, but I can already more or less guarantee you that the red team is... actually, can they take the core now? Apparently, they grew a pair. Okay, so there we go. The Rum Boys are making their move, and the core is falling. The catapults alone just do enough damage, and there it is. We go to game number 3. GG, and well played. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. Third map of the series, it's match point. So Dragonshire is our final map for this one. I entered the lobby and I immediately said that the lack of mount synergy that we're getting from Sergeant Hader is really disturbing. He instantly replied and he's just like, it's a statement. I just thought to myself, and what's the statement there? I hate my teammates. And is that what the statement is? I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's... what did he write? He wrote the love cloud or the happy cloud or something. So it's not really a statement there. Dragonshire is the map. Keep in mind that now we have 20 heroes banned out. That already plays a role here. The hero pools of most of the players is not necessarily the biggest one. Don't get me wrong, some of these guys have thousands and thousands of games played, but usually it is with a very limited amount of heroes, and obviously now you're also playing in a certain role. So you might not have some of the heroes that are still available. And then you have to really, you know, navigate a bit. What is available? What can we use? What does anyone feel confident in? And that is going to influence the picks now. So, well, Sloth Sanctuary with a bit of a problem in game number 2. Most of these teams, by the way, have a few more than 5 players. So they're swapping players in and out. And Vasimir apparently didn't play game number 2, and he is currently the captain of the team, and he came into the lobby and instantly said, like, so wait, I get benched for a map and then we win? I mean, if that's any indication, my friend, then I would be a little bit worried that you're in the lineup again. Because, well, if they lose now, then they know why. So, might be time to replace the captain. Malfurion and Imperius get chosen for the red team. Great start, honestly. With Junkrat on Dragonshire for the Sloths. I hope somebody woke them up during the game, or between the games, but let's see. What's the blue team walking away with now? We still have some globals up. Falsat, for example, could be played too. I'm still waiting for some of the crazy picks. We haven't actually seen any yet. Lucio and Murden. Yeah, the old dwarf just hopping around there. Went for the Epstein skin, by the way. And as most people do, which is kind of disturbing. But hey. At least we know he's not gonna kill himself. So, there's that. So, final bans. For the Rum Boys. Ooh, Nazebo gets banned. I don't like that. I would have loved to see Nazebo. But unfortunately, no Witch Doctor in Game 3. I said this, I think, yesterday. The one hero that I still expected to be played a little bit more often after he was played on the top level is Asmodan. If I expected anything from the lower level teams, it's that they would embrace, you know, something like Asmodan, and they just haven't. So it's kind of wild. All you gotta do is learn how to play Asmodan, if you don't know yet already. Learn how to stack with another hero at the beginning, and then try and control the macro game. But apparently the boys and girls want to brawl. So, Garrosh gets banned. Ooh, Kerrigan! Kazim! After Maiev, he goes for Kerrigan now. And they got the burst damage to back it up. So, Kerrigan, Jaina. Alright. That's quite the statement here. There's a lot of CC, a lot of roots, a lot of stuns and slows, and then the burst damage from Jaina to back it up. Not too shabby. I suppose we're going to talk about a triple frontline here. If you're the blue team, that's the moment where just like, guys, we might have a problem over here. Arthas and Mephisto. Arthas as the side laner. Alright. So, double frontline for them as well. But what is the final pick? This is going to get really interesting. Dragonshire, map number 3, the final map for the winner bracket final. One team will move on to the grand final, the other will drop down into the lower bracket final. Who is going to move on? Final pick? It is D.Va. D.Va's in the house. Dragonshire's our final map. Let's go, everybody. Without further ado, map number 3. Game number 3, the final map. Sloth Sanctuary on the left with Morpheus on Muradin. We got the Rabbit on Arthas. Zult's Decay with Junkrat. Narsha is playing Lucio. And Lucy is playing Mephisto. Over on the right side, the Rum Boys with Askari on D.Va. Kazim is playing Kerrigan. His Maiev was solid in game number 2. Really helped them a lot to lock those kills in. Now he's trying to do the same with Kerrigan. Phoenix on Malfurion. We got Vazimir on Jaina. And then Sergeant Hader with Imperius. So D.Va, Imperius, and Kerrigan as the frontliners. A very aggressive frontline with lots of stuns, damage, and also zoning abilities for game 3. And yeah, Vazimir, by the way, also not going for the synergy with the mount. So we have a triple mount synergy here by the core of the team, is what I'm going to call them right now. But the rest is a bit disappointing. So Muradin now down at the bottom of the map. The Candy King. I mean, as soon as Jaina is there, they can technically already try and get some CC trains going. But, yeah. For now, we have just camps getting targeted. I actually like that they are now spawning at the 30-second mark. I think this is a pretty good thing, because it essentially just makes it so that you have the game progressing a little bit faster. They're trying to trap Mephisto. I mean, if they really want to trap him, all they gotta do is wait here and then attack the front with someone else. If you do that, you have definitely shot of taking him out. But they're trying to get the Siege Giants, and I don't hate the idea, but they should have probably then gone straight for it. So the way that they did it is they wasted some time, and now they have to actually fight for it. Which isn't impossible for them to pull off. They have 4 at the bottom of the map, and now they're locking in Muradin and get the kill here with Malfurion. And there's another victim. They're going for the rabbits. Yep, there's rabbit goulash for dinner today, and it's a triple baby, as Lucio is dead as well. Vazimir is probably relieved, because with the team pulling ahead with 3 kills to 0 and stealing also a camp away, it seems like he might not have been the problem in game number 1. So, again, if he loses here with the team, then I think the chances are good that the captain is going to be replaced. For the Sloth Sanctuary, on the other hand, that's a little bit of a warning sign. You had an amazing game number 1, but right now, it looks like this might have just been a fluke. because the red team is running circles around them for now. That fight on the camp was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Now, this is only the early game, of course, but we'll see if they can follow up on that. Mephisto is trying at the bottom of the map to get in the shrine again. But the Dragonite has been taken in time. Okay, so... And this, by the way, is... No, don't walk into the middle again. Alright, so now they're sitting at the side here. I was just about to say, this is how you position a Dragonite, and then you walk towards the middle and got hit by both of the towers. But they're still opening that wall up with no problem. So yeah, they're gonna be fine here. Again, if you're playing a Dragonite in the early game, it's so weak, you really just want to save it for the entire duration and play around with the ability and use the Dragon's Breath to take minion waves out. This is one of the best things that you can do, or use it as structures and just get your damage in while you can. Yeah, gets one more out and then gets probably fight out. Not quite. So could get the ability back once more, gets another hit in, and yeah, this is exactly what you need to do. Dragon's Breath over and over again, wait for the cooldown, do the best around that. They opened some of the walls up. With such an early objective, there's very little else that you can do. They're going for the combo! Oh, Muradin has a problem. Yeah, a severe lack of hit points is really tricky and leads to instantaneous death, apparently. So Muradin is gone. 4 kills to 0, level 7 on the board, and this CC combo that we have from Rum and Ehre is doing pretty okay. Yeah, it's a great start for them. Nearly a level ahead, locking the camps in, and just doing good work with Icebound Fortitude now up against them on the side of Arthur's. And we get the Skullcracker too. So they're having some good time with that camp at the bottom and could now technically also try and see if they can add a follow-up kill to this. I mean, you have the camp already there. They could push this. Honestly, right now I'm a little bit surprised that they don't. They're trying to go for Arthur's in the middle. Kerrigan. Yeah, and a bit too late for this. I really think pushing the bot lane, taking that wall out and seeing if they can maybe get a kill or two with it would have been the proper play here for them. So they didn't quite go for it. But they still are, of course, ahead in experience. They will get an early level 10. Unless we have a big team fight that is won by the blue team. But from the looks of it right now, the red team is still doing exceptionally well here. So they're going for a couple more camps, starting to take these ones out too. We already have Arthur's up at the top lane, doing his job right there. And slowly starting to take this down, whereas at the bottom of the map we still have Kerrigan plus Imperius. We need Jaina for the follow-up damage. Was also, of course, still working on the baseline, so she wants her ice block. But they're gonna get the first camp. They're still trapping. I actually like that they're always attempting to set these traps, but it doesn't look like the blue team is really falling for it. They already did a good job in the last few games to just double check those bushes over and over again. With level 10, we also have now, in addition to all of this, Twilight Dream for Malfurion. So Malfurion with Twilight Dream, Jaina with Water Elemental. For Malfurion, I honestly expected him to go for... Ooh, he dodges everything. Well, mainly everything. Even dodged the Ultralisk, but at the end of the day, it was still too much for Muradin to handle, and he falls. That's kill number 5, and it's another Dragonite. But, yeah, they're moving down to the bottom of the map to push that, whereas the Dragonite is staying in the middle. So they're pushing 2 lanes at once. Level 10 is finally there. But great job for now from the red team. Lucio, by the way, went into Sound Barrier. Sound Barrier for Lucio. Okay. That's a choice, I guess. Don't really think that I agree with that, but hey. They feel that their hopes in those team fights is going to be the extra shield. Be my guest. That ult from Mephisto went absolutely nowhere. But, yeah. We'll see if Lucio is going to be able to get that shield out and save anybody. For now, that's not the case. These stun locks are way too much for them to handle. Junkrat is gone, and they're chasing this even further. They want Lucio, and he gets hit hard by the combo. Kazim with really, really nice comps here. Another stun set that absolutely hits its mark, and that is the end of Lucio. They're not done with this either, because now Mephisto is completely exposed and gets killed, and Arthas apparently has a death wish as well. commits honorable Subaru as he moves straight into the opponent's team and is just adding the 9th kill to the scoreboard. So, Sloth Sanctuary. I don't know what happened to them after game number 1, but they are apparently... I mean, right now they're just falling apart here. They got drunk off their own victory, that's what it seems like. Chrysalis for Carrigan. Talking about being drunk. Kazim a little bit too aggressive. Gets the combo out. I mean, that's the good news. And so they're adding another kill to the tally. But Carrigan died. Nice ult this time from Mephisto. But it's not enough to get a kill. The first fort falls. And with 10 kills to 1, we now have a 1.5 level lead for the red team. On the damage side, it is currently Imperius that has the top numbers with 15,000. We have Carrigan with 14,000 just behind him. Same number that we get from Junkrat on the blue team side. But yeah, the aggression is real. Another play made by Mascari at the top. It's always bait. I mean, every single time that you're just in the pilot, you know, everybody around you just wants that kill so desperately. And it just feels like bait every time. But we have level 13 talents. Level 14 is going to kick in a moment. The red team is still trying to play through these little traps. And their opponent is just going for the camp at the bottom of the map. He might let this go from the looks of it, though. Oh, and it is too late. Arthas is already gone. Arthas gets eliminated. Yeah, he got isolated and taken out. Now the water elemental is up and they're aiming for Murden. If he doesn't get his cooldown, then he is toast too. So he gets the Stormbolt out, tries to jump away, is able to get away initially, but then the combo from Carrigan just hits him way too hard, and Jaina is just following up on all of these plays like a boss. Kill number 12 on the board for the red team, and another fort about to fall as they're pushing the bot lane. Level 13 talents, a bit too late for Sloth Sanctuary to play a role in the team fight itself, and they're just looking fantastic here. They're looking great. 2 forts down. 2 levels ahead. Camp after camp is being claimed here. And Sloth Sanctuary is in serious trouble. The one thing that we learned about the red team in game number 2, though, is that at times they are struggling to capitalize on advantages. So, while typically I would now say, okay, the red team essentially has this in the bag. There's a lot of ground to still cover, keeps to take out. And if they continue the same way that they did in map number 2, where they got massive advantages after 4 and 5 man kills and just didn't do anything with it, then there's still a chance for Sloth Sanctuary to get on even talent tiers with their opponent and win those team fights. So right now, we definitely have a big lead for the red team. But this doesn't guarantee a victory if they still play as timid as they did in game number 2. So they got to be very, very... They have to be a little bit more... a bit more courageous. A little bit more dedication when they're going for the actual fights. I mean, this is the 3rd objective in a row now. They took 2 forts out. Now they have a chance to maybe even go for a keep here. Typically, you move down to the bottom of the map, simply because there's more mercenary camps that you can set up later. Everybody is just chasing D.Va. And for Ascari, that's not good news. The good news is, though, that the blue team wasted a lot of time, which allowed the Rum boys to already go through the entire wall. I kind of expected them to just YOLO Carrigan in here. There's a little bit of a punt coming from the Dragonite. So they're going for Zal's Decay, and the ult from Lucio saves them for the time being. Oh my god, Junkrat just got his ass kicked, literally and figuratively. Jaina and Malfurion both went down, but yeah, he kicked him to death. So Junkrat just got kicked to death, had the shield, and that hurt. That was the best kill ever. Really nice ult from Lucio, but I am still not sure that was the best choice for them. 31 stacks for Mephisto. He went into a full skull build over here. 4 kills to 14 now. Couldn't get a fort with this. Still 1.5 levels ahead, and I'm not quite sure why they're moving this far out, because now Carrigan is going to die. I don't think that she has a chance to actually make this work. Oh boy, they get a kill on Lucio. Carrigan still dies, but they got the Lucio kill. That's more than I expected they would be able to do. Imperius dies as well, though, so that's a problem. And now it is the blue team that is able to close the experience just a tiny little bit. And then goes in for the Siege Giant camp. So it's not all lost yet. D.Va pushing at the top. Should get the Inspire buff for the minions, and does. And if nobody reacts to this pretty quickly, then this is basically... I mean, the fort is most likely not going to get destroyed, but this is tons of damage done for absolutely free. So, yeah, less than 50%. D.Va just boosts out. See ya! And we'll be back later to fight another day, I guess. So, the trap still sitting down here. 6 kills to 15 all in all. Arthas isn't done with his level 1 yet. Muradin. I mean, they're getting Imperius back now. Arthas also with full-on aura plays coming through with Remorseless Winter on 16 for even more CC. But again, they're not the only ones that have CC, and obviously the damage output that we're seeing from Rum and Ehre is pretty rough. Jaina in particular. I mean, she has a baseline completed and everything, so she has Ice Block too. D.Va coming in, going for the bunny hop. They're trying to follow this already. Muradin, 1 stun, 2 stun, stun locked, and eliminated. Muradin is gone. Lucio uses the ult. It's immediately gone, and therefore useless again. Arthas gets killed, and now they're chasing the rest of the team. Lucio is able to survive, but they lost 3 already. Both of the frontliners are gone, and Junkrat died too. So here's the opportunity to just push the bot lane. The minion wave is already coming. So that's at least a wall that gets destroyed. And since Mephisto is the only hero that is left that can actually get dangerous to them, they're gonna have an easy time breaking at least the wall. The objective is up, so they can go for the Dragon Knight. But there's a chance to push this a little bit further. So they definitely try to be more aggressive than they were in game number 2 right now. So a little bit of damage already done to the bottom keep. Now that the minions are running out, they're slowly retreating, but with D.Va already getting busy at the top shrine, there is an easy Dragon Knight to be had now in the middle of the map. And once that you lock that in with level 22, you could now start and make a play through the bot lane for that keep and take it out completely. So yeah, D.Va's on her way, Dragon Knight on the move too, and we'll see where they're headed. For now, it seems like they're actually going towards the middle. It's a little bit surprising to me. Bot lane seems wide open. Mid lane you can of course do a lot too. Again, the reason why most top teams will go to the bottom of the map is because you can set up pushes there with extra mercenary camps. Not quite possible through the middle. There's only a single camp that goes there. Actually, no. There's none. So, yeah, right now they're starting to take this one out. Still have a chance to go for the second one at the bottom of the map if you want to. They don't want to go for the core. They don't think that they can pull that off. So instead what we're seeing from them is a quick move towards the bot lane, joining up with the minion wave and getting extra damage in. I'm not sure if they're getting the entire thing, but that's adding more damage, so good for them. Imperius already pushing this a bit. Keep is low. Another set of abilities, and we're gonna have 2 keeps gone on the blue team side. So there's the chance right there. Muradin in trouble. Muradin able to get out. Keep is gone. The pilot rushing away as the mech is lost for D.Va. The ult from Lucio, and he gets away. And what an ult by Mephisto! What a massive ult! 2 heroes down, and they're gonna get a third. But oh my god. Imperius is dead. Jaina is dead as well. They got 2 keeps, but they might have stayed a moment too long. Look at this ult here. Bam! That was brutal. The problem is, what exactly can the Sloth Sanctuary now do with this? There's only camps up on the map. I mean, you can take a couple of camps. Great. And then? There's no objective to be claimed. You might be able to take out a fort or 2. But even that is not gonna get you where you really want. So they're gonna get the fort at the bottom of the map. I am not so sure what's happening with the fort in the middle. I actually don't understand why Kerrigan is going to the top. I think she should already sit towards the middle and wait for the rest of the team to come back. Okay, she can get this quickly. They're actually going for the keep wall. I mean, maybe they can take the wall down with the double camp that they have, but the defense is now in full force. So 1 fort is what they got out of this. And I don't think they can get more at this point in time. So, I mean, good for the blue team, don't get me wrong, they're on level 20 at least. But they still have a long way to go. Structurally, they took one single fort out and they lost their mid lane and their bot lane completely. 18 kills, 210. Great ult from Mephisto. Funnily enough, he's not even close to being top damage on his own team, even with that play. 48,000 damage for Kerrigan. Imperious, and he's gone. The Ragdoll kicked on the other side of the map. The fight not over yet, though. Arthas. Holy Ragdoll, baby. That explosion from D.Va. That was way too much for Arthas to handle. Kerrigan with the Chrysalis. D.Va! Yeah, Ascari is dead, I guess. Maybe not. Is able to get away, and Kerrigan just murders them. Kazim, honestly, is just wrecking them. It's not even funny anymore at this point. Comes in, gets the kill on Lucio and Junkrat, hates Overwatch heroes about as much as I do. And then they're going for Mephisto and take him out as well. Only Malfurion died, but that was rough. I mean, look at that Arthur's kill. So, right there, first Imperius dies, then they go for Arthur's, and look at that Ragdoll. The explosion from D.Va just kicks him on the other side of the map. Best kill ever. And this might be game. They went down 0-1 after map number 1. And now we're having a huge play here from the team in red. They are able to take the series. They win it with a 2-1 and send the Sloth Sanctuary into the loser's bracket. Great job by Romanere and a well-deserved victory as they move on to the grand final. GG. Surprise, surprise! Map number 4! Yeah, it's a best of 5 after all. So I kind of got duped here. I checked before the series started. I was like, I'm not quite sure anymore if this is a best of 5 or best of 3. And I actually thought that it's a best of 5, but I double checked and the bot that they use for maps stated this series is a best of 3 series. So I was like, okay, apparently I was wrong. This is a best of 3. And now I obviously already called Romanere advancing to the grand final. And I joined the next lobby and I'm like, wait a second. Those are the same teams that I just had. Turns out that whoever started the match on the bot, apparently you have to they type manually in what series it is, and somebody just typed the wrong format. And all of a sudden I got duped into believing it's a best of 3 series after all. So guys, it is a best of 5. So yeah, that's just what it is. And, well, let's go. Aldrich Pass is our next map. So that's map number 4. Rum and Ehre, therefore, not quite yet in the grand final. There's still a chance for the Sloth Sanctuary to do their thing. Falstad as a first pick. I mean, good for us, we get more maps. But still a little bit of a weird one. They made it. They sent Sloth Sanctuary into the loser's bracket. Just kidding! It's not over yet. So, yeah. 30 heroes banned out, by the way. So 30 heroes are gone as we're heading into Aldrich Pass. I swear to God, they were about to start the game and I joined the lobby and I was talking to the live stream a little bit, to the audience. I was just sitting there and I was like looking on the players on the side and I was just like, aren't these guys in the loser's bracket right now? And I was like, wait a second. Like, how? First of all, I was surprised how quickly they had the map ready. I was like, damn, they went through all of the map bans for the next series already? Impressive. These guys are on point. They have a hot Tinder date or something. They want to rush through this as quickly as they can. So, yeah, looked at the player names. And I was like, wait a second, something's wrong here. And so, yeah, we changed the overlays and now here we are. It's LiLi time, apparently. LiLi and Stitches. The dangerous combo right there. One looking for adventure and the other one looking for something to eat. Or playtime. So, Garrosh and Tigers kicked us off for the red team. Rum and Ehre. With a match point now. So, they got a match point right here. Kel'Thuzad gets banned. You can tell that we're in game 4. 30 heroes banned out, so at this point you really gotta think, okay, what's happening? One of the good things, obviously, for all of these guys is also that technically they can always check the opponent's account to see what they're playing. Most of the top level players have multiple accounts and can really play all kinds of stuff. But right here, bit of a different story because, yeah, everybody uses their main accounts. That's where they have their heroes, and then you can have a bit of an idea of what you should get rid of. Who bans Kira, by the way? If they want to pick Kira and give themselves a handicap, let them pick Kira. That would be my vote. I don't care how many games you have on Kira. That is still a shit hero. Kira is just above of Artanas. Let's put it like that. Actually, I think her pick rate is even worse than Artanas' pick rate. Thrall and Uther. Okay, so it's apparently Team Smog over on the right side. We could get Gul'dan if they want to add a few more. But, yeah, banning Kira is a little bit like banning Valera. If they want to make their composition worse, let them. Don't interrupt an opponent while they're making mistakes. Sun Tzu, the art of war. Isn't that the most quoted one? Something like that. We get Yrel and we get Bambi. Lunara's in the house and is going to help Falstad, dishing out some damage. That leaves us with Kazim as the final pick. Great performance on Ismaev and his Kerrigan. And with that, we're now heading straight into Aldrich Pass. So, map 4. This is still crazy to me. And there comes Cassia. So, let's go everybody. Map number 4 in the best of 5 is coming up next. Game number 4. Morpheus on Stitches for the blue team. We got Paradox on Yrel, Lucy on Lunara. We get Salt's Decay on Falstad and Nasha on LiLi. The infamous LiLi pick on the free drinks. Over on the right side, we got Rom and Ere with Kazim on Cassia, Vasimir on Uther, Ascari with Thrall, Sergeant Hader with Garrosh, and we get Serena on Tychus. Another chance for the blue team. This is their opportunity to bring it back, so who knows? Maybe we're going to get the comeback. Forcing game number 3. Game number 5. At this point, I honestly don't trust myself anymore. And we'll see what exactly the blue team can now do. Stitches is happy because he gets some playtime. Ooh! We get press the advantage on level 1. Somebody's going for an auto attack build. I would assume we're gonna get in the rhythm. By the way, in the rhythm, when... Where are you going? Alright. I'm not sure how much I like that. Well, for now it doesn't really matter, honestly. Once that level 4 is in, assuming that he goes in the rhythm, I would really like for Tychus to stay with Garrosh. Because one of the best ways to stack your D on Tychus with Garrosh is you just stay close to him, Garrosh tries and get the flip, and the second he flips a target into the back line, you go for your trade, and you just get the entire duration through. That helps you to get real fast early game stacks. And that makes it so much easier for you to just get tons and tons of extra time on your minigun. So this would really be the play to make if they can. After level 4, assuming that they're going for the talent, we'll see how much they're going to play this one out. But yep, there's a huge opportunity for them to make some plays with it. Now, if they're going to use it or not, time will tell. We get the Trolling Thunder, by the way, for Garrosh, for Thrall at the top lane. All orcs look alike, so me mixing them up, one looks like the other. We got Sergeant Hader. He was about to go there and Tychus like, no, I don't have level 4 yet. But yeah, I've seen some of these combos doing an enormous amount, and obviously going for grenade build is technically the better play, but it's fun. I like auto attack styles for Tychus and for a lot of other heroes as well. So it's always kind of fun to see that. Tychus a bit lazy on the pick here, but yeah, where's my choice? Come on. We get the Pursuit of Justice for Uther. Tychus slowly coming in. He just tries to be sneaky. There it is. Okay, in the rhythm is honestly is honestly the pick here. If you don't go for the grenade build, then this is the one that you go for. So now Tychus, Garrosh, come on. Throw somebody over. Lift from the knees, my friend. You can actually see that Sergeant Hader is hesitating flipping Stitches into the team, mostly because he's worried about his knees. And I mean, he should be. But if you do the work in the gym regularly and you're just going for it, then you should be in a position where you can make that happen. So, yeah. A couple of warm-up flips against somebody like Yrel or Lunara, and then you're going to be totally fine to go for a bit of a max effort here against someone like Stitches. So that already gave them the first kill. Tychus has in the meantime moved towards the camp again to try and help Uther out with all of this. Uther is going full woodchuck on us with his little axe, and Tychus just doesn't have a single stack yet. And I blame Garrosh. I blame Garrosh. So the rotation towards the top to try and go for Thrall. Yeah, dodging out on the hook and getting away there. Job well done. Good for him. So, yeah. Garrosh again, he should be warmed up now after the flip against Urel. So, I mean, he's not skipping leg day. He's just a little bit worried about the warm-up squats. Look, there we are. There comes the trade. Should dash forward a bit, and that gives them 7 with the first rotation. Went into the combat tactician over here too. So, yep, not too crazy, but 7 stacks. If they can get another flip here, and then more action from Tigers, that would of course be great. But we're not quite there yet. It's all about late game, honestly, if you're trying to go into something like this. And there are a few blinds available for LiLi then later on. She went on level 7 straight into let's go! But the free drinks is honestly what I'm here for. And LiLi seems to have a lot of them. So, with 3 stacks, Thrall now starting to get a bit closer to his completion too. And where's Tigers when you need him? They're going for this Urel kill at the top the entire time, and they're at least trying to get it. And the one man that I'm missing in these situations is Tigers, the man that needs to get the stacks. We have him at 12 now, so it's not too bad. Again, we're getting there slowly. But that was a big opportunity to lock in a lot more than that by just helping out. Stitches wants the hook. Nobody is channeling just yet, but Morphos is ready. Morphos is just waiting. He's like, yeah, go for it. I dare you. They need to at least open that wall up, or they should before they are making any play there in case they are flipped in. Holy Avenger on level 7 for Urel. Cassia against False, that at the bottom of the map. And camp after camp being claimed by the red team. Sloth, Sanctuary, just doing the same thing. And obviously, by now we're having in the middle still the push coming in from the blue team. Another move, and again not able to close that distance. So, Sergeant Hader he has some confidence issues. Garrosh, you know, he's not the most confident guy. Thrall, on the other hand, he actually gets his wolf connected. Quest complete! Time to feed. Oh yeah. So, completes his quest and instantly dies. But Garrosh, you can tell he has some confidence issues. He's been seeing a therapist. He's been talking to them a little bit. And yeah, it's just like, he gets the stun and he makes the move forward, and then he starts to doubt himself a bit, and it's just thinking that he can't make it there in time, and starts questioning himself. You know, once you get in your own head, it's really becoming a problem. He just needs to shut out all of these feelings and just do what needs to be done. After that stun is applied, you have to walk in there and just do it. And you know, once that you break through that spell, that makes things a lot easier, because then you realize, hey, I can still do this. But right now, look back and forth the entire time. You can really see him hesitate, and that's a huge problem. So this is something that most of the time only professional help will be able to fix. So for Garrosh here, it's a problem. In the bush, out the bush, this isn't sex, dude. Like, this whole in and out game over here, no. You gotta commit, my friend. You gotta make the decision, and then stay with it. That's what you gotta do. You gotta trust yourself. Believe in yourself. You can do it. I believe in you. And if I believe in you, you should believe in yourself. Level 10 abilities already on both sides. Down at the bottom of the map, Cassia still doing her thing. Garrosh, just think like Murky. Murky always believes in himself. All the Murky players do. Which is one of the problems in the first place. Yeah, but then something like this happens. He doesn't even hit that. So obviously the guy is doubting himself. So, yeah, another move. Maybe now. And, yeah, throw some minions around. Maybe it's just another warm-up set for him here. But I think that story will continue for quite some time. So, with that, in comes the Hyperion. The Valkyrie. Divine Shield is already out. Tychus, a few more stacks here, sitting at 24, and pops his Odin shortly after. Ascari is still alive, God knows how, but he is, and then re-engages into the fight. Great choice, dude. Lunara wants to kill, and might actually die here. Kazim, low, where's the heal when you need it? Where's that heal? There it is. Uther able to keep Cassia alive. Kazim was honestly dead. No way. Thrall died, so did Lunara. Tychus got a few more stacks for himself. But look at Cassia here. Cassia the entire time just moves around with basically no hit points, and nobody on the blue team is able to connect another auto attack to seal the deal. So now we have 2 kills to 2, a bit of an advantage for the Sloth Sanctuary in experience. But yeah, crazy stuff. So right now we got 44 stacks for Falstad. Looking at the raw damage numbers, it is Lunara that is a little bit ahead. So we currently have her on 15,000. We got 20,000 on Thrall. They are channeling the point. I mean, even the extended hook range from Stitches is not necessarily going to do the thing here. Yes, and here comes Tychus. Big hits from him. 35 stacks for now to get level 13. LiLi tries the heal, gets instantly eliminated, and apparently Stitches wants to die to Tychus, just not at the same spot. Oh, and that's a triple kill. Lunara is trying to get away. Tychus, yes, he comes in and gets the kill and is even able to move away from the fort before anything else happens. So they get 4 heroes eliminated. The objective is taken too. They're getting everything here. Great job by Rum and Ehre. 6 kills to 2 now, and that really, really helped them. Now we have them with the option to push for a few of the structures. They have the objective, of course, so the raiders are going to start doing damage here. With the death time as low as they are, Sloth Sanctuary is going to be back for the defense. Not immediately on point, but still, they shouldn't suffer too much here, but they're going to at least lose the walls, maybe even a fort, especially with Tychus already committing to his ult and starting to push them back. Garrosh all the way at the front, and yeah, it's an easy wall down. And now they also have a full level advantage. So once again, Stitch is getting attacked, gets flipped, stunned, becomes the target, but also gets the help from the fort. The mechanic kicks in. The fort gone. And by the way, they eliminated... the fort is actually still there. Fort at top lane is gone. Fort at top lane is gone. Uther could still get a Divine Shield on himself. Nice gust, but... oh, he gets the kill. That was actually impressive. Getting the kill quickly against Tychus and able to move out here. They take Thrall as well, so now that's 2 down. Another hook and another kill. Yep, so that is 5 kills to 6. Half a level lead. 1 fort eliminated. 1 fort nearly destroyed. And the boss now wide open at the bottom of the map. Tychus with 44 stacks. It's not crazy, honestly. I expected that with that comp they would be able to do a bit more on that end, but not so far. Good gust from Falstad. I mean, that really forced the fight and helped them a lot with that battle. So Falstad also burning down Tychus shortly after really helped, because if Tychus is able to get the Falstad kill instead, then it's a completely different story. But as is right now, we have 1 boss taken. The second one at the top is now going to get attacked. And the blue team, they're sniffing this out with Paradox. Yrel is currently sitting tight there, but doesn't fully commit to that, so I guess each team is going to walk away with 1. This one is going to go straight for the keep wall. 28,000 damage now for Thrall. He's actually top damage for the red team, and 25,000 for Lunara. But yeah, boss is taken. 16 talents are available on both sides. That gives us a synergy for Thrall in particular, with Alpha Wolf and the Frost Wolf pack, and the sizzling attacks for Tychus. And at the bottom of the map, that's 1 fort that gets destroyed. So the team is in the middle. Another flip and the big hit against Stitches. More stacks for Tychus. They take the tank out, and that will end the fort. They could move towards the top now. They've actually... I am a little bit surprised they're not going to the top. This is the perfect opportunity to push this a bit further. They're just letting them defend for free. Not 100% certain why, but they had a chance to make this more impactful. Not saying that the boss this early would necessarily help them to take the keep, but it would have done a bit more damage. Stitches is back in 11 seconds, so around the same time that the prisoner camp is activated, he's going to be back in the game. So they can't go for the objective immediately. But they still have a couple of camps that they can take. AKA 1. The rest is already gone. So, yeah. Objective is up, and it's going to be the next battleground. We have 5 kills to 7, and the blue team is definitely not out of this yet. They've lost a few more structures. Not that much. And let's not forget, with Falstad on the board, you have your global. you can do exactly this. Control the side lane, give your team extra experience, and use the Inspire buff to take structures out. So what we're seeing instead is the aggression down here. Stitches goes for the hook, gets the Gorge, and there's the quick flip. Thrall still alive for now. Yes, and a nice move from Cassia again. And, I'm not quite sure what exactly Tychus was doing there, to be honest with you. Tychus popping Odin did not only waste his cooldown, it also made sure that Urel didn't die. If Tychus doesn't use Odin there, Urel is dead. So instead, full choke point right now. They are going for the objective though, but it's still a bit of a wild one. Odin is going to run out in just a second, and Tychus didn't get a lot out of this. If he didn't use Odin, Urel would have been just a goner. But the fight isn't over by any means. They're going for the objective still, but the blue team is already falling back a little bit, and yeah, they're dodging out on the hook too, so they can just wait this out, go for the fountain, tap that real quickly, and then re-engage. Fawcett is already moving towards the middle in order to defend here. We have 62 stacks now for Tychus. I mean, again, decent duration for him to increase the minigun. Nothing too crazy. Gorge is back up. There's the hook. And he dodges it. Yeah, they are able to dodge hook. Gorge is up. Heals. Again, Valkyrie. And Bambi is alive. For now, they go for Urel instead. And she gets burned to pieces. Yep, big hits, big damage from Tychus in particular. Bambi gets the kill though, and is able to get away. They're chasing a little bit too hard here. Lunara can't do anything, so you don't have to chase her the entire time. They're trying to save Uther. He's saved, and instead Stitches gets flipped back into the battle and gets taken down. So the objective about to be taken. Lunara able to jump out, so she retreated. But by now we have, yeah, another objective for Rum and Ehre. They're going to grab this one too. 9 kills to 6, both teams on level 19. 75 stacks now for Thrall, and good damage from him too. It's kind of wild how sometimes a few of these guys are surviving with a sliver of health. The one thing though is that Cassia's Valkyrie is just wrecking them. It always feels that it's a bit of an afterthought for the team. They're really focused around what Garrosh is doing. They're looking for their own hooks. And then all of a sudden you have that Valkyrie coming in and just connecting hard. And it's a real problem for the Sanctuary. So the Sloths now with another defense that they have to set up. And this time we're 16 minutes into the game, meaning it's going to be a little bit harder to defend this. The fort, the final one, is definitely going to get destroyed. Falstad is defending the top lane. So this will all center around the push at the bottom of the map. The minion wave here might just be enough to get them 20. No, not quite. So the blue team already has level 20 abilities. It's going to make them hesitate a bit, but Falstad is visible at the top, so they know that he's not here. 20 is ready. That gives us Titan's Revenge. Uther with Redemption. Lunara! Bambi is gone! Bambi is insta-dead. And that is now making this so much harder. She's one of the main tools that they have in order to defend. And there's the Gorge on Cassia and the Gust for isolation. Cassia is going to be gone. They might still be able to take down the keep though. That's the big question. But they're already retreating. A little bit more damage could have been done there. Good Stitches hook. Great follow-up. And that allowed them to shut down the aggression here. It is a 4 versus 4 though. So Cassia is gone, that's true. But you still have Tychus. I mean, yeah, a bit low, but one thing that they definitely should not allow the blue team to do is get that boss. Letting them get that boss for free? All the ults are already used. I think they had a chance to shut this down. Instead, they're just going for the top and try to take their own boss a few seconds later. Which is fine, I guess. Some damage done in the middle, so yeah, maybe a tower is going to be destroyed here. But boss at the bottom of the map is already claimed. They have to defend this one as well. They're most likely just going to set theirs on route. We have now 10 kills to 7. Cassia is not back yet. Falstad in the meantime. Yeah, easy defense for him at the top lane. It's getting close here. This game is going to get real close. I mean, each team has a boss. Cassia is already defending down at the bottom of the map. The keep has taken some damage. Red team still has 2 extra forts, which is a nice little buffer that they're using. But this is match point. The red team has a chance to move on to the grand final now. The Sanctuary, though, for them, very different story. So they need to win 2 in a row if they want to make that happen. Uther and Falstad both haven't died yet. By the way, look at the gap in minion experience. That's insane. The red team makes up for it a little bit in passive experience and also in hero experience. But if you just think about the difference that we have through lane control, it's crazy. Falstad obviously plays a big role there. But this is exactly what the last patch now did. If you're not diligent about rotating onto the lanes and taking the minion waves out, you can fall behind in that category very quickly, especially if your opponent is using a global that is playing his role properly. So, if not for those extra kills and the structures that they took out, this would be a completely different story. That really saved them. So you can completely see the different approach in some of the strategies for the two teams here. By now, we have, by the way, also the Word of Glory. Alright. Can't say I've ever seen this. A Word of Glory. What is the Word of Glory? What is that? Do we have any idea? Is it chocolate? Or ice cream? Oh, LiLi! Oh, that hurts. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Stop! They're dead already. Oh, stop. Stop. They're already dead. Brutal attack. That one was rough. I'm a big fan of the idea to just keep one hero here and push for the top and open that wall up. Yeah, I really would like them to be a bit aggressive while 3 heroes are dead. You have a big minion wave coming through the top. Use the one in the middle if you prefer that. Either way, but open at least some of those walls up. Uther still has a Divine Shield. Even if somebody is getting gorged, I think they can make that. And boy, that is horrible for the Sloths. That's a disaster. Now they gotta take these structures out. I mean, at that point, just make your play. You can take maybe even the keep. Falstad is moving to the top to defend this here, and he should, but they have to take the keep in the middle. They at least take the wall out. I mean, that is the rough. Stitch is down at that moment in time. He's one of your biggest assets, and look at Kazim again with a perfect hit. LiLi, that little Panna just sucks. She came, she saw, she died. Veni, Vidi, Bigi. So that's a keep gone before they even get their objective. The objective isn't even here yet. Massive kills for Rum and Ehre. Kazim with a stellar performance. Honestly, he's been making clutch plays for the team in the last 3 games. First on Maiev, then on Karrigan, and now with his Cassia. The ults that we're getting from him are bonkers. And this might even be game. Cassia with 52,000 damage. 57,000 from Tychus. They try and go for the core here. Core's dropping low. Losing hit points quickly. They gorged up Tychus. But if they just right-click the core, the game's over. They just need to right-click that thing and go for it. And that's exactly what they're doing. Urel is gone and this is game. It took them 1 map more than expected, but Rum and Ehre move on to the grand final. GG.